Welcome to episode 7 of RocketPod, the podcast for business and charity professionals looking to expand their CRM knowledge and achieve sales and marketing success. You're listening to myself, Natalie Silver, and Rocket CRM directors Ian Wicks and Kyle McKee, plus special guest Dirk Cuthbertson, as we discuss marketing software, specifically Clickdimensions, a smart option for Microsoft Dynamics 365 users. When a business is ready to scale up their marketing, adding marketing software to their existing CRM is a smart move for many reasons. For Dynamics 365 users, there are a number of ways to do this, either by connecting a third-party marketing CRM, or in Dynamics 365, it's possible to add on the Dynamics 365 marketing suite. Alternatively, and we believe the smartest option, is to use Clickdimensions, a natively built digital marketing software solution that sits right within your Dynamics 365 CRM. With the help of Clickdimensions expert Dirk, we discuss the various merits of our preferred marketing software for businesses that are going for growth and want to align their sales and marketing activity. If you appreciate what we have to say, click that like button and subscribe. All right, let's dive in. All right then, guys, how is everyone today?
Good, thank you.
Very good, thank you. How are you, Natalie?
I am fabulous.
We've got somebody else up in the treehouse with us today, haven't we?
We certainly have. We've got our guest speaker today is Dirk Cuthbertson, who we
Hi,
all
everyone.
know.
Hello, Dirk.
Hello, Dirk.
Obviously, we all know Dirk very, very well because we work with him. And Dirk is our Clickdimensions expert. But we've brought him on today's show because this topic today is going to be about marketing automation. So we thought it made sense to bring someone who knows that software inside and out. So hence, Dirk has got the hot seat. So Dirk, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, my name's Dirk Cuthbertson, as you probably already detected from the accent. I'm originally from Highlands of Scotland.
I thought you'd say West Virginia.
And I started out as a geologist working in the oil industry, but through various twists and turns ended up as a sort of a marketing and sales guy working for service companies. And given that I'd always worked with databases, it kind of seemed obvious that I was going to be the guy that managed the CRM systems and built those. And my career's kind of gradually morphed into the more CRM side of things, and now I'm with Rocket. So I've been working with Dynamics for about 7 years now. I'll tell you a little secret. I was a Salesforce admin for 4 years before that.
I forgot that.
Don't tell anyone. And I've been working with Clickdimensions for about 3.5 years as well. Coming very much from a perspective of actually being a marketing user and a salesperson as well. So I'm kind of poacher turned gamekeeper on that.
Yeah, I think that's really useful though, isn't it? When you're actually doing the CRM management, you can see the needs of both parties. And now, as we'll find out in a short while, marketing and sales, there's no more of that siloed working. It's working much closer together than it ever did before. So that's good for you and good for our clients. And generally, that's just the way forward, really, in terms of the approach to pipeline management and marketing automation. So today, like I said, it's about marketing automation. But I think before we dive into that, what I really want to do is kind of look at the digital marketing world in 2023 at the point of recording. This episode really is for those marketers out there, the ones that are in the nitty gritty, in amongst the weeds, the managers, the senior managers, the directors, anyone that has any influence on formulating, managing and directing the digital marketing strategy for a company wants to listen to this episode. Today in 23, I'd say that there's some key themes that have been around for a few years, but they're becoming much stronger. Data, obviously, everyone knows that, and content, and the two together, when you get it right, can really send your marketing in a fantastic direction. When it comes to the data and content, there are a multitude of tools out there that not just marketing automation tools or CRM tools, but all sorts of different softwares that allow you to utilize data more effectively to make data-driven decisions and smarter decisions that will deliver more impactful marketing, better SEO. And of course, in 2023, it has to be said, ChatGPT, of course. AI technology is a massive topic for this year. We won't be touching on that much in this episode, but it's still very, very relevant for the world of marketing, and it would be crazy for me not to mention it. And when we talk about content, AI is obviously massively influential on the creation of content. But also when we talk about communications, marketing automation is a major component of delivering better communications, which relies on content. So as you can see, all of these different themes are kind of very tightly interlinked. But today what we'd like to do is just hone in on automation itself and kind of see how it sits in amongst all of the other tools and techniques that modern marketers are utilizing. I mean, marketing automation, it's not new, is it? It's been around. And Dirk, you've just said you were working for Clickdimensions for 7 years, was it? It's been around for a long time. Its earliest guises will have been simple email automation, but now it's so much more than just that. And it helps marketers do much more than just segmentation. And it's one of the biggest trends, obviously, as I've stated, and one of the biggest developments in technology, and it's going to continue to grow. You look at the market and it's flooded with suppliers, providers, software solutions, and everything from out of the box, simple ones that you can basically just launch within minutes and away you go. They have their merits, they have their place, or you can have more complex offerings that deliver more customization and configuration to your specific needs. What you choose is dependent on your exact business needs, to be quite honest, and we'll delve into that later in the episode. So when it comes to looking at specific softwares, there's a whole host of options available on the market. But obviously, as Dynamics 365 partners, we have a couple of options. Certainly our users and our customers have options they can utilize. They can use an integrated third-party software, or they can use a natively built application like Clickdimensions. Now, the integrated third-party software does have its merits. There are APIs you can use to ensure that there's a seamless transition of data from one system to the other. But the beauty of using a natively built application like Clickdimensions is that it works as if it's just one system. It feels like you're just using the one system, as if when you're in Dynamics 365, it's a seamless integration of the Clickdimensions tools, which is a massive, massive win for users. And there's no clunkiness to that. It's a real smooth experience. So for many reasons, Clickdimension is our software of choice for our clients. And if they're looking to really ramp up their marketing activity and introduce the marketing software, we would always recommend Clickdimensions. And this is exactly why we've got Dirk on today's episode, because he's our Clickdimensions king. He knows it, the product inside and out, and he's best to talk about the benefits and the features that you get with this software, and why it can completely transform marketing and sales for SMEs. So, Dirk, please do tell all.
I think one of the main reasons people come to Clickdimensions, they're already Dynamics users and they want that integrated solution. But primarily what they start off with usually is just this kind of need to do some basic email marketing. I mean, effectively something like MailChimp would do. So a lot of people come for that aspect, but it's when they start looking at things like the campaign automation feature that they really start to see the power of something like Clickdimensions. So this idea that you can, you can send out an email, look at what people are doing with that email, what pages they're visiting afterwards. There's this new scoring model that Clickdimensions has brought in, so you can incorporate that into your campaign automation now as well. So it's not just kind of send an email, send another email, send another email. You can build up these really quite complex, if they need to be, customer journeys, and that's really, really powerful. I mean, you've been using that for our systems. So how have you found that?
Well, it's exactly as you said. Basically, what you can do is you can tailor it to the buyer journey. And so there's no more guesswork about whether or not that message is salient to the end user, to the end recipient, because you're able to tailor it to the buyer journey. If you know that at that point in time, that person is not ready to buy, or they're not, and then they're still at the early stages and discovery stage, there's no point sending them a message that's telling them to buy, because that's just going to fall on deaf ears. And also, I don't think that's a very smart marketing tactic. I think it's very much today's world of marketing is about adding value. So, and that's exactly what you can do through the marketing automation. You can deliver content to an audience that helps them solve a problem, and thereby doing that, helping them making their lives easier. You're building that trust and authority, and being seen as a specialist in your area, or as somebody who can provide a solution to their problem in the future. And that's exactly how you build the trust and are able to develop a relationship with a potential customer or client. And that's essentially what it does. It nurtures that relationship. up until the point that that person's then ready to buy. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, Dirk, going back to what you said about the MailChimp and what have you, some of the other software solutions like MailChimp do more than just email marketing now. And they often do offer the marketing automation tools as well. But I think going back to the Clickdimensions benefits, there's so much more in addition to just the marketing automation as well, isn't there? Obviously, we can build the email marketing around the buyer journey. We can personalize and we can tailor that. But I think in recent years, Clickdimensions have added a lot more to their arsenal, haven't they, in terms of marketing tools?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty much a fully integrated marketing platform. So, from web forms that are pushing data directly into your CRM, and again, they can trigger campaign automation so that you can do more. You can use them for sort of gated content, for example. So, here's a form, fill it in, you get a white paper or, something that's going to be useful to you. And you'll not only get access to that, you can then, we'll send you an email that's got a link back to that page. And depending on what you're doing with that and maybe other aspects of the email, then we could start to tailor the content that you're starting to see through the campaign automation. I mean, there's a web analytics side to this, actually being able to see what pages individuals are visiting on your website. The ability to build landing pages can be really powerful as well. We all know what it's like sometimes in an SME, getting resource to be able to get new pages up on a website. So being able to just build a landing page within your marketing team and get that up with forms, with content, so that you can react much quicker, I think is really powerful as well.
And then all of this data then is going straight into the CRM, isn't it, Dirk? So that there's no movement of data. It's all held in one central space. And it makes me think of a very kind of ongoing theme for marketers at the moment, which is a single source of truth, one point of your data holding, so that everyone is singing off the same hymn sheet, everyone is working with the same set of data, but not only looking at it and managing it, but leveraging it and using it in a really, really smart way. So when that data comes in through the web form, that then goes into the CRM, and then a new record is created. And then how the marketing team choose to utilize that data is completely up to them, isn't it? Like if they know that person went onto a page which it could have been, as you've said, downloaded a white paper and they're just looking for some information, a solution to a problem, it doesn't necessarily mean they're anywhere near the point of purchasing a product. But however, if they went onto a page and then filled in the inquiry form, they're clearly wanting some need. There's a need there and they want some help, and they're potentially going to buy from you in the not too distant future. So it's about understanding how you're setting up each of those forms depending on where they are in the buyer journey. And then also, I understand that it works very closely with the sales team now. So I know that there was recently, there's talk of being able to then share that information with the sales team, and the sales team can then collaborate more closely with marketing and then step in when the time is right to then nurture that lead even further. So it's no longer just the realms of the marketing team, it's being passed over to sales, and based on sort of sales lead scores and propensity to purchase, then we know that when we send over the lead to the sales team, they're going to have a better chance of being able to convert it. So it's like we said before, essentially what they're doing is generating higher quality leads, and more of those leads are then converting into a buying customer. Yeah.
A conversation I quite often have with clients is about the sort of end journey of the marketing. You are, hopefully creating marketing qualified leads at the end of the marketing process, but that needs to be passed on to sales. So understanding where you're drawing the line between marketing and sales and what that handover process is like, I think is really important. And of course, every company is different, different amounts of resources, different, buyer journeys, that kind of stuff. But, because we're doing this within Dynamics, within the sort of Power Platform environment, we've got complete flexibility over how we control that. So we can tailor it very much for what the client needs rather than what the software decrees. You see what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of Clickdimensions, isn't it? It's that level of customization where you can configure it completely to the unique needs of that business, which is a complete winner. I know some of the out-of-the-box solutions, they're much more limited in terms of features, but also they just simply don't fit. As with any CRM, sometimes it's like putting a square peg into a round hole, and it just doesn't fit right and doesn't quite meet the needs. I know that other CRMs and off-the-shelf solutions too, they can sometimes charge by the amount of data that you utilize, like email sends that you're using as well, which then baseline cost would look brilliant. But then once you start sending more than, say, 10,000 emails per month, the cost of utilizing that software then sort of becomes cost prohibitive, really, and it's not as appealing as it first might have seemed when they quoted those prices to you.
I think it's up to 40,000. Is that right, guys?
No, 200,000 emails.
200,000.
Oh my goodness, that's huge, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
Depends on the size of your database, I guess. To be honest, really, it's enough for most small companies. And that the thing is, Clickdimensions is aimed at the SMB market, the small to medium-sized business sector. If you think about, the amount of emails, then you do a reply email, and if you put a campaign automation together where you might have a few emails that go out, they can add up. But it does tend to be that 200,000 does seem to work for most of our customers. But obviously, everybody's got different needs, and we have got some larger customers using Clickdimensions as well, and some of them are sending up to 2 million emails a year, or even 3. And you can buy extra sort of bundles of emails as well, so that's possible to do.
I think it's good that it's not based on just the number of contacts that you've got in your system, which I know some systems do. Just because you've got contacts in the system doesn't necessarily mean that they're engaging. So if it's focused on emails, then I think that's a kind of fairer usage policy, if you see what I mean. Rather than we bought in 10,000 contacts that haven't really engaged very much, and we're not even entirely sure that they're real people.
Within Clickdimensions, we also have the survey tool, and I personally believe that it's a big benefit of having it within your CRM within Clickdimensions, which sits within Dynamics 365, because then you're not having to move data. It all sits seamlessly within your customer records. So when it comes to getting the customer feedback loop, there's the survey tool that's going to do it. So if you want to ask customers about their recent experience, if you want to get some insight into why they use your service, or just insight in general into to what they prefer, it's going to be the survey tool that does it. And then you're doing it right within there, and you can see within the communications log when that survey was sent, who sent it, what those responses were. And also then you can analyze the data that comes back to you, and you're not having to move to another system. Again, it's just saving time. It's just more efficient because it's sat within the system.
Yeah, the survey logic's really powerful. Been working with a client recently who were getting kind of let's call it sale feedback. And it was just a simple kind of score out of 10. But if you were scoring lower, you would be pushed onto one page where they would, somewhat apologize for that and seek to understand why you thought you were getting a poor experience. If it was, good feedback but not amazing, then, again, you give them the opportunity to expand upon that. If you're giving really good feedback, then they're collecting, the positive aspects and also getting authorization to use that in their marketing releases. So having that logic in there, I think, was really quite powerful for them.
Yeah, most definitely. It's getting that insight, isn't it? And another really great tool that you have within Clickdimensions is, we've mentioned it previously, but the lead scoring. We were looking at it recently, weren't we, Dirk? You have drop-down boxes where you can basically set the criteria and set numbers against a specific behavior. So, for example, if someone opens an email, they'll be given a certain score. If someone reopens that email over and over again, that score will rise. If someone goes into a landing page or a product page that's kind of suggests that they're highly interested in that product, again, that's the score can be set against that trigger point, which is completely customized, basically. So like when you were saying earlier on, you can create those lead scores based on specific behavior. That's exactly what that tool allows you to do. And again, that's all held within Clickdimensions. You're not going anywhere else to have to do this or to get that data. It's all there. And then that can be then utilized within your automation so that you can set specific triggers. So if someone hits a specific score, an alert can be sent to the sales team. The sales team, like it could be an account manager, that person then knows that they have to go and take action with that particular lead because potentially they're in the point of where they're ready to purchase a product.
Yeah, the new scoring model is looking really good, actually, and there's a promise of a lot more functionality that is coming. So, I mean, with my kind of, I wouldn't call myself necessarily a developer, but let's say citizen developer's hat on, I can see mechanisms already whereby you could actually start to score engagement in particular campaigns rather than just an overarching score. And that's going to be really, really good. And with the new scoring model, they've already added an extra bit of functionality so that you can score your leads in the system differently than your contacts, the people that you're already doing business with. And there's also a mechanism so that you can lower people's scores if they're not recently sort of engaging with you. So if there hasn't been any increase in their score, then you can drop their score a bit more. So
is that a new thing, Dirk?
Yeah. It's
cool.
It's come out in one of the more recent releases.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah. So really powerful stuff.
Just smarter sales and marketing activity, isn't it? Much, much smarter. And also I know that Clickdimensions have enhanced their social posting offering. So it used to be that I believe that you could utilize it with LinkedIn and post to LinkedIn, but now you can do it across the three main social platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook now. And as with any marketing automation tool, again, that's just a time saver because you're doing everything from within the system. You're not having to move out. You're not having to log into Hootsuite. Not only that, the cost of utilizing social scheduling platforms, the cost of that's rising. So having that all in one system is saving you money, saving you time. And also it's the visibility within your team as well. So you can set those permissions so that specific people can see what's been scheduled, what posts are going out. And then because it's within that system, you can align that perfectly to the other campaigns that you might be scheduling as well, any of the content creation, any of the emails that are going out, and utilize what they have as a marketing calendar too. So utilize that marketing calendar so everyone's got visibility of what activity is happening, when it's happening, who's responsible for what. So it works not just as a scheduling assistant, but it's just that full visibility of marketing activity. It's kind of a holistic approach to your digital marketing.
Yeah. And it connects back into the CRM. So if somebody's clicked on a social link, you can trigger campaign automations. You can use those to then enhance scores. So you're bringing the social aspects into lead scoring as well.
That's exactly it. And what it's essentially doing is omni-channel marketing, which is the holy grail. You can't do omni-channel marketing without marketing automation. And I know in the earlier days of kind of digital marketing, it was great if you had activity going in each channel, if you had email marketing going, if you had social marketing going, if you had your content creation going. But now, because of this integrated single source of truth approach, it's all interconnected so that you can make each of those channels work in synergy with one another. And that's what omnichannel marketing is. And so that's reinforcing the message to the particular audience. So it's no longer just one message going out and then hoping that it's salient with the whole audience. It's creating smarter communications based on wherever somebody is in the buyer journey across multiple channels and reinforcing your marketing efforts.
Yeah. I think it comes back to this point. I mean, I know we sort of say it quite a lot. The major benefit of something like Clickdimensions is that it's natively built. And, it might sound a bit techy and a bit boring, to be honest, but it just solves so many problems. It really just becomes a no-brainer when everything is all in one place and you can look at form fills against email clicks, against page visits, against anything else you're doing anywhere else in your CRM system, and combining all that to then push data that is actually going to be interesting and engaging for your audience and, help them along the buyer journey. So, yeah. Does sound techy and boring, but it's a big time saver.
Oh, no, completely. I mean, question that probably a lot of people are thinking, is it easy to use? Is it easy, Dirk?
I mean, If you're
one of the easiest, isn't it? If you think about all the, there's a whole smorgasbord of different applications and platforms for marketing in-house, but because Clickdimensions is almost like plug and play, you can just put it in there, and that's why it works really well for smaller marketing departments, where there's one or two people. Sorry to butt in, by the way, Dirk, but it's like one of the quickest. So typically, we will get it up and running and have some training for people within a few days, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd always start off suggesting to new clients that they do start quite simple, and there's no need to dive in with really complex customer journeys to start with. Let's just get some emails out and then see what people are doing with that, and sort of build gradually any necessary complexity.
It's very much about understanding. It's going right at the beginning. If you want Clickdimensions to work for your marketing team, you're looking at the whole of your digital marketing and breaking it down and seeing where those gaps are and where you can actually drive efficiencies, where you can automate actions, where you can streamline processes. Like you said, yeah, definitely. If somebody was using it for the first time, go in, dip your toe in the water, try out the email automation tools and take a look at some of the other tools, maybe the social scheduling. But there will be a point where you actually could do with it, kind of carrying out a bit of a marketing audit to have a look at all of the activity in its entirety, and then align the tools and the software to the whole of your activity calendar to see where you can plug those gaps, and you can, like I said, drive efficiency. That would be my recommendation as a marketer and somebody that spins all of the plates and manages lots of different channels all at once. You want to kind of really go blank sheet and start with a very good plan, and good marketers always plan. Another question that I think many of our listeners might have is, well, how much does it cost, guys?
So that's a good question. I mean, it depends. It's based on the number of emails that you send, basically. But assuming that the marketing users already have access to Dynamics in some way, it's around about $750 a month to get you 200,000 emails a year, essentially. So the pricing, there are some caveats about what that does include and what that doesn't include, but that's the sort of entry price to get the core functionality within Clickdimensions.
And you're not having to buy that license over and over again for different users, is that right?
That's right. You pay a set fee per year. So essentially it's $750 per month, but it's invoiced annually. And then it renews every year. And you could have 100 users using Clickdimensions. You could have 5 users using Clickdimensions. The price is the same as long as they're licensed within Dynamics. That's the key requirement.
Yeah,
well,
typically you're not going to have 100 users using Dynamics. Using Clickdimensions.
No, but just to give you that.
One or two. Yeah.
Although I do quite often talk with clients about the benefits of spreading Clickdimensions. It's not just a marketing tool. If you've got a big sort of customer service aspect to your business, use Clickdimensions to send out your surveys and do your analysis of that.
And the quick send emails as well, hey? That's a really nice feature, actually. So any salesperson can be on the phone to a client, and on the back of a conversation, they can just click a couple of buttons and they can send out, there can be a whole series of templates all ready to go, all tailored for that particular client. And then the salesperson can actually start that journey by sending out the first template directly from CRM.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're full HTML emails. So you can, if somebody's clicking on something, you can see particularly what they're interested in and kickstart other aspects to their journey with you. Yeah.
I think from a marketer's point of view, that tool will be invaluable because you, in past roles, have worried about what's being sent out by whom and how they've butchered whatever copy that we've shared with them. So being able to control that content and the quality of it is absolutely essential in creating those templates. And I'm guessing you can lock down the use of those templates to specific users as well. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got full control over what people can and can't do. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. It's another fantastic feature. So another question, in addition to cost, if someone wanted to get started with Clickdimensions, do they need a partner to get started?
I think the answer to that question is about sort of return on investment, because, you can start yourself, and there's a lot of documentation that's available online from Clickdimensions. You can run through all of that. It's just the time taken to learn something. I think having a partner on board gets you up and running much quicker. And also there's lots of neat little tricks that, I'm aware of that aren't necessarily covered by the documentation and are particular to your industry. There's always problems to solve. And that's what I really enjoy about working with Dynamics and Clickdimensions is even if there's not an out-of-the-box solution, there's usually some way that we can work around that, either through using Power Automate, or even quite often what I do with clients is using the campaign automation to act as a sort of data processing tool, as it were. So yeah, I think using a partner just gets you up and running much quicker and just allows you to kind of draw on sort of our expertise using Clickdimensions, as a marketing tool. As I say, I've been a marketer for years and I know what people are trying to achieve. I'm not focused on the technology. I'm focused on actual marketing results.
You're almost bridging that gap between the technical aspect and the marketing processes. That's what it feels like.
Well, I hope so. I think
that's it. And I think that can actually be one of the barriers to adopting marketing automation, is that regardless of which software you use, you're having to utilize and learn some new tech, basically, which not all marketers are necessarily comfortable with that. And as I already said, there's a lot of planning in that and analysing your processes and seeing where that software can really drive value. So I can see why you say it is beneficial to have a partner, because you're having someone by your side to help you through that bit of the planning and the implementation process. It'll definitely take away a little bit of that pain, I think, which I'm sure there'll be lots of marketers listening to this that know exactly what I mean in terms of getting to grips with new software.
It's just like a bit of hand-holding and reassurance. So when you first drive a car, you first get a car. It's nice to have somebody there who can give you that calmness and confidence that you know what you're doing, the right thing. Dirk's a superstar, but we've got a whole team of experts as well on Clickdimensions. So Rocket CRM, luckily enough, one of the platinum partners, I think there's only 3 in the UK, platinum partner of Clickdimensions. So it's like that feeling of I'm in safe hands. So I can actually confidently do what I want to do now.
Well, that's exactly it. A marketer just wants to do the marketing. They just want to get the communications out, and they've got lots of other things that they're having to think about. And software and configuration is not one of them that they really want to think about.
Yeah, I just want it to work at the end of the day,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, that's very insightful. Thank you, Dirk. Excellent. So I think today what we've done is we've really dove into a lot of complexity in the world of marketing automation, and we've really helped shed light onto Clickdimensions as a really smart solution for Dynamics 365 users, Dirk. Is there anything else that you would like to say to the audience, or words of wisdom, or anything you'd like to share to help people who are thinking about starting with Clickdimensions?
I think always start simple and learn lessons from what you're doing. There's no point getting a really powerful tool like Clickdimensions if all you're going to do is sort of send out the occasional email. I mean, it will do that, but there's the opportunity to really sort of dig into how your marketing is working and learn some lessons and improve. If you're a Dynamics user already, then it really is a no-brainer using a natively built marketing app. I think it just unlocks so much potential in your data and simplifies your system so much. So if you are a Dynamics user, then Clickdimensions every day. If you're not a Dynamics user, then you probably should be.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dirk. Thank you so much, Dirk. That's been so helpful. And thanks, Ian and Kyle, for being on the podcast as always. It is your podcast. So fantastic. That's been so helpful. And it might be a topic that we revisit at a later stage as well, as and when Clickdimensions, they're regularly doing updates and what have you, and enhancements, and just letting people know what's happening with the software. So fantastic. Thank you, guys.
No worries. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Dirk.
Thank you. This has been the RocketPod podcast, delivered by Rocket CRM, the place for spot-on CRM advice delivered in a simple to understand format, as Rocket CRM makes CRM simple. The show was produced by the team at Rocket CRM and Thumbs Up Marketing, with special thanks to Alex Tilbrook, Design and Illustration, and MD Hammond. For information on Rocket CRM, visit rocketcrm.co.uk, and you can also follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn. Twitter's @RocketCRM UK and LinkedIn @Rocket-CRM. Thanks for listening.